with the big scoop that no one's talking about right now. Now, why aren't they talking about it? Well, they're not talking about it because they don't want it to get out there. And the reason why they don't want it to get out there is because it's diversity and inclusion being cut at Disney. We talked about this, and we discerned that it would be these idiots that they hired a long time ago, back in 2017. Let's see. I looked at Latoya Raveno's LinkedIn, and she's been there since 2017. So she was hired. Hi, just some other guy. When Iger was looking to run against President Trump to be the Democrat nominee. This is not, all right, just a second. I got to get out of here. I'm going to put you guys right here. Don't go anywhere. I'm back. When the sun hits me like that, I can't see anything, and it's bad. Anyway, dog, what is, he grabbed a hair pulley. There, I put it back where it belongs. So I think I am too. That it is Iger pulling the trigger. And the reason why is simply he's showing himself to be the phony jackass we all thought he was. All right. And if you saw my video earlier today, please go there, watch it, hit the likes, leave a comment. I would appreciate it. You will notice that, hey, Cross, how you doing? That the LinkedIn messages are from woke staffers. Now, I am following some of the ones whose names we know, because I guarantee you when they get cut, they will go and they'll cry and complain. Okay. I don't know how long Deadline and Variety can keep the charade up. All right. I don't see how they could do it. And the reason simply is the people that are being laid off are going to come public. Okay. It's executives in DEI right now, but it's going to be bigger. Okay. They've look, this is going to be implemented, I think, in waves. It sounds to me. Now Kamran did tell us that Sparrow told him that Kennedy's people are not leaving until she goes, which I think it would behoove Disney to just fire them, get them out of there, isolate her to the point where she can't do anything, and just say, hey, you're getting a paycheck for just being here. So sit over there, stay out of the limelight. We got this. So it's Thursday. I expect to hear more. And I'm going to say this. Just because we haven't seen some of the names that we know that are famous, like Latoya Raveno and a few of the other people who were part of Reimagine Tomorrow, it doesn't mean that they haven't been. Okay. They don't have to go on LinkedIn and say, I've been fired. My project, they canceled it. I mean, that was my favorite thing. It looks like my project's been canceled. Okay, what project was that? And if that's the case, some of these people are contract. They're not actual employees. They were brought in to fulfill a contract, and Disney just said, fuck it, we're not going to do this. That's the bottom line. So we'll see. I mean, it's going to be interesting going forward uh, where this goes. But I'm going to say this. My advice to the list of troglodytes in the story group is, guys, I think it is time for you to go look for a new job before you are actually fired. And the reason is this. You will have an easier time finding a job if you've been there for over a year, just saying you want to switch, then and you know you bail, than having any sort of self-respect gone as you're told you're no longer wanted here. Here's your box, take your shit and get out. Oh, and that's Big Irv over there, and he's gonna make sure you leave. A security guard with a Glock. Okay. Do you really want that? You know, these are the questions you got to ask yourself when you're looking at some of these people. And I encourage Pablo Hidalgo. And look, if you're watching and you're part of Lucasfilm, because I see there's at least 7 people on here, take this advice to heart. Save yourself the embarrassment. Save yourself the humiliation. Find a job now. Okay? You don't owe Disney any loyalty. You never showed them loyalty before. You didn't show Lucasfilm any loyalty. Okay, just go find another job. All right, you've already been told that probably that whatever you're working on is probably going to be canceled soon anyway. And I'll bet that Kennedy's already leaving. So why stay? Why stay? Why allow yourself to be put in such a situation? Okay. These are the questions that I want to ask because, and I said this in my upload, but I'm going to say it again. Back when I was working for the Leadership Institute, this is before I went to the Capitol Hill, 9/11 happened. And all of the 501c3 money contributions dried up because a lot of the people who were giving money to the Leadership Institute, to the Heritage Foundation, Media Research, Judicial Watch. These are some of the 501c3s that I worked with. They weren't getting the money they used to. So jobs are being eliminated, and my job was phased out. Now, what I did was I helped people write their resumes. I would talk to them. I'd team them up with potential employers for meetings and interviews. And we would put out a blast fax every week to every conservative office on Capitol Hill and all the other 501c3s of potential employees looking for work. And I knew what jobs were coming. So when I found out that in a month I wasn't working at Leadership Institute, I had a car payment. I had rent. Okay. And it's not like in Washington, D.C., which is a very expensive place to live, that I could afford to live there without a job. So what I did was I looked at a bunch of jobs. I set myself up for interviews and had a job within 2 weeks. So the rest of the time, I just kind of skateboarded through and was basically the people I didn't like, I treated like shit. I mean, I was done. Okay. Got to Army's office literally almost the day after he announced his retirement, which was going to be in a year. So what I did in about September of that year, start bothering presidential personnel for an appointment. And I got a new job. By that mid-November, I was basically on my way out the door. I helped move the office from 301 Cannon to the Capitol office, and was there right before Thanksgiving. And last time I was in those offices, I went to the speaker's Christmas party, and that was it. I was done, and then I was working for the administration, and I did that for almost, let's see, a little over a year, about almost 2 years, and moved to Hawaii, got married, and that was it. Okay, so I didn't want gaps. And my advice to Pablo, to Phil Szostak, to Matt Martin is find a job now. Don't stand around and wait for, the Bobs. And I don't mean Bob Iger to show up, but the Bobs, the HR people, to show up and say, you're fired. Okay, you're laid off, go away. Don't wait for that. Don't wait for those stupid interviews. Don't wait for that gut-wrenching feeling, okay, that your money is going. It is. It's done. You're done. Okay, that is the truth. I hate to tell you, that is the truth. You will not look, and it's no fun feeling physically sick to your stomach, feeling like you can't survive, feeling like you failed, which is basically what happens when you're faced with that situation. I was horrified. Okay, I was brokenhearted. Okay, and I remember my husband, who was my boyfriend at the time, took me out for dinner, and I cried over a bowl of soup to him. I didn't know what to do. But like within the next few days, I rallied with my friends, and I decided I'm not going to let this kick me down. I went to work. I looked at the jobs that were being offered on Capitol Hill, because that's really where I wanted to go, and that's where I went. And I had a blast. Didn't make as much money as I did at LI, but look, if you're going in at a lower level, yes, I did. I did. When you're going in at a level that I did, you're not going to make a lot of money. But I was there when history was made. I mean, I was there when they were. Let me set this down for a second. Okay. I was there when history was made. I was there when they were doing the Department of Homeland Security hearings. My boss, Mr. Army, was the chairman of the committee. I was there to see Ann Veneman, who was the Secretary of Agriculture, walk in. J.C. Watt, the congressman from Oklahoma, would come into our office. J.D. Hayworth. Tom DeLay and I would talk all the time. I was able to talk to people who were testifying. I mean, I remember one day I was sitting at my desk, I looked up, and Don Rumsfeld is standing there. And he had his arm in a big cast. And he was very nice. He was very cordial. But I'd never met anybody colder in my life. And I haven't met Hillary Clinton, so I can't, really compare. But I was able to see all of that happen. I was there when Army signed the bill making the Homeland Security Department a real thing. Now, did we want to do that? No. As libertarians, and Mr. Army, you could call him a Republican in name only, because he hated having to do what he did. It cost too much money. The Senate under John McCain added all kinds of shit we didn't need. And it's intrusive, okay? The right to privacy in the United States is a very sacred thing. And it violated that. When you've got TSA idiots making old ladies basically strip down to their underwear, and you let some guy who's questionable walk by. I mean, come on. Okay, just no. Okay, it just, and all it was to make sure they were being fair to people, which is bullshit. Okay, it's just, um, so it was an interesting experience. I was at the White House when Sharon Z showed up, and with to meet President Bush, um, which was whatever. I don't like Chairman Z. I don't like the fact that back then we were nice to those people and they're not our friends. Uh, it's China is something that I think the United States really has to rethink. But that's just me. And anyway, I'm here to explain why. If you know the avalanche has been started, would you stand there and let it hit you? All right. This is for anybody at Lucasfilm who's there acting like they're not going to get squashed. Okay. Kennedy's done. I don't care what anybody says. Raymond Feliciano at King Dolphin TV and I had a long conversation. And I said, that, I told him, I said, 2023 is a completely different time. We are in a different era. Okay, this is a completely different moment in history. We might as well be 100 years away from that now. And the reason, because the economy is different. The outlook is different. And, uh, so much has happened in the wake of solo bombing that the idea that Kathleen Kennedy still has her reputation intact is ridiculous. I was told by one of our subscribers here, after he had a long conversation with a friend of his who's very high up in the studio, vice president, in fact, that Kennedy is basically a dog shit. Not in those words, but her reputation is gone. She no longer has any reputation. So the idea that she's still, stunning and brave is bullshit. Okay, you can't look at Solo and the sequel trilogy and think that she still knows what she's doing. Okay, um, I have hope for Indiana Jones because her husband, I think, was far more involved than she was. Okay, and honestly, I think that when you've got Frank Marshall involved, when you've got people like that around, Kennedy steps back and lets them have it, and then she takes the reward as being the female in the group. Okay. Yeah, I think so. I think that, if I had been there, I would have said, so what you're saying is, considering who she worked for in her long 40-year career, that had more to do with her success than her. And I think the answer is yes. Okay. I think it's very obvious, well, in my opinion, that it is. And I'm very interested in seeing where this goes as far as how the yeah, I thought I actually, Polly, I have to admit that I do like the first 20 minutes of that movie. It's actually very, very good. And the other stuff is just, there was some heart and soul lacking to it. But I can also see why there are people that liked it. And I can watch it. It's not as watchable over and over again like the first three, but it's not as bad as people said. And I don't think that were being fair. I mean, considering that the stuff that Spielberg and Lucas were talking about is very, very real. I mean, these skulls that were found were real. All right, very smooth. They don't know how they were made. And where did they come from? And what were they about? So, I didn't mind it, and I think it was something worthwhile looking at. And George, because of his anthropology and sociology background, is so deep. I think that people tend to not follow his line of thought. And I think that's one of the reasons why Bob Iger tossed his sequel trilogy ideas, is because, let's put it this way, my dog is smarter than Bob Iger. He actually could follow what George is doing. I mean, Kojak is a shepherd, and there you go. It's all very interesting to me, watching all this come to a head, and want to get back to Kennedy. So I think that the way this should be gone about, and from what Kamran has been told, they're not going to, but I think they should, is I think that Disney should say, hey, we are looking to cut down the staff at Lucasfilm, talk about where the story group, there were some bad actors in animation. Polly, I don't know if you remember Hal Hickel cheering when Gina was fired, or let go, not fired. She was not fired. Please stop saying that. Okay, she wasn't under contract. Because if they said where these divisions were going to be, where the divisions were going to get, which divisions were going to get cut, I think that would be the hint for people just to leave. Now, here's the deal. Win-win situation for Disney. They don't have to pay unemployment, okay? They don't have to worry about being told how bad they are, okay? And that's a big deal, okay? I would say that's a big deal for them. But anyway, it's going to be interesting. Now, there are probably a lot more layoffs than we know. Just the ones that I saw that Kamran connected to LinkedIn. I'm looking for names we know. Do not be surprised if Latoya Ravenel shows up on the list as being gone. I don't know what Iger, because I honestly think while Chapek was running Disney, I think that maybe he and Iger did talk a bit. They don't like each other, but they did talk. And I think that, I don't know if, Iger might have encouraged that, but it also hurts the company. It also hurts his legacy. Okay. And hey, look, if you look at where these layoffs are coming from, they're the Bob Chapek layoffs. Okay. They're the ones that he said he wanted done. So it's very strange. It's very odd, but this is where we're at. And this is just the beginning. And really, I am looking forward to seeing people's names we know at Lucasfilm pack up their shit and go on their own. Again, what does it hurt to walk away with your dignity intact? I made the decision to leave. Okay. I made the decision to walk out without being humiliated. All right. I mean, and that's, I think, a valuable thing. I think, especially in the business that these people are in, which is very much ego driven. You can't fire me, I quit. All right. Get a job, get it set up, put your 2 weeks notice in and say, I'm done. Okay. And that's it. And that's because really, uh, if you can walk away under your own volition and with your own, with it being your decision, in my opinion, I think it's a better deal. I think psychologically for people. Anyway, um, I gotta go. My arm is starting to hurt again. This is pissing me off so bad. But anyway, I gotta go. So you guys be good, behave, be safe, and don't trip over your dog. And I'll see you guys around the galaxy.